What's up, squad? This is Brandon from the Bantu Sun. Thank you so much for joining me today. Just got through watching a video on social media of North Koreans arriving in Russia by the busload. I think we're entering in this multipolar world, as I talked about. Or for me, it's a tripolar world with the great centers of gravity being the United States, India, and China. And right now, you have the old powers, Russia and Europe, trying to carve out their space amongst these three behemoths. Now, Europe obviously finds their identity in Ukraine and Russia as well. Hence, this struggle in these two sides opposing each other. Russia directly and Europe in a supplemental manner for the Ukrainians. Let's not forget this war for Russia. It is existential as far as the governance go. As far as President Putin's regime, this war in Ukraine is everything. And what you have now is the changing face of the war. We had videos on here where we talked about how Colombians, sicarios, and warlords and soldiers were being brought in for Ukraine from Colombia. Remember, in the cartel raids in Mexico, um, there were cartel that had Ukrainian flags on their souped up trucks because a lot of these fighters went to go fight in Ukraine. And the same thing now on the Russian side, what they're accused of kidnapping Africans and they're bringing in North Koreans, and there's been figures of North Korean casualties. This probably will be the first war of this new world, and it is quite astonishing seeing the lengths both sides are going through to try to win. And something has to give. I just saw a stat that Ukrainians are expected to be down, I believe to be down 500,000 people, while the Russians are down 1 million. You have to wonder, the Russians have been relatively refrained, sticking only to these Russian speaking territories, probably because they don't feel as though they have a claim or they can occupy the non Russian speaking parts. But at a certain point, you got to believe the Russians are going to want to go for a coup de grace. They're not going to want to slowly bleed to death. So it's really going to be interesting to see how the Ukrainian and Russian war evolves. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below. Like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Until next time, take care. Bantu up.